Welcome to Mr. Kakalides Bible Talk. And today I want to do a comparison of Moses and Jesus Christ. Moses was a type of Jesus, and we're going to see this. When Jesus was a child, a baby, King Herod sought to kill him with the rest of the children in Bethlehem. You can see that in Matthew chapter 2. But when Moses was a baby as well in his birth, Pharaoh sought to kill the children. You can see that in Exodus chapter 1. Moses had to flee his land, Egypt, because of Pharaoh persecution. Exodus chapter 2, verse 15. Jesus and his family had to flee their native land because of Herod's persecution. Matthew chapter 2. Pharaoh died and Moses returned after he was told, "All the men are dead that sought your life." And the same thing happened with Jesus' family. Herod died and Jesus returned after Joseph received a dream. Those who sought the child's life are dead, what he was told. Moses prayed for Miriam's leprosy to be healed. Numbers 12, verse 10 to 13. Jesus cleansed the lepers, including one that you see in Matthew 8, verse 2 and 3. Moses shows 12 spies, one from each tribe. Jesus shows 12 apostles. You can see that in Numbers 13, verse 2 to 16, and Matthew. And if you think about it, Moses changed the name of one of his spies. His name was Hoshea, and he changed his name to Joshua. And what does Joshua means? But that's the name. Joshua is the name that Jesus was going to come by. And we also see Jesus changing some of the names of his apostles. For example, he changed Simon's name into Peter. So if you look at the life of Moses, you can see that Moses is a type of Jesus. Well, let's continue. Moses divided the Red Sea, Exodus 14. But Jesus walked on the sea, on the water, and he calmed the storm, Matthew 14. Moses was on the mountain for the blessing of the commandments, Exodus 19. Jesus was on the mount when he gave the Beatitudes. A cloud covered and overshadowed Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, and the voice of God was heard, the voice of Numbers 12. A cloud overshadowed Peter, James, and John, who was with Jesus, and God the Father spoke in Matthew 17. God promised to raise up a prophet like Moses in Deuteronomy chapter 18. Jesus in John chapter 1 is called the prophet that God was going to raise like Moses. But if we read Hebrews chapter 3 and also John chapter 1, you find out that Jesus was greater than Moses. Because the law came from Moses, but grace and truth came from Jesus Christ. Although Moses brought Israel to the border of the promised land, as a punishment for his own rebellion, he could not enter, Numbers 20. Because of Jesus' obedience, Jesus brings his people to the paradise of God, to the promised land. Luke 23, verse 43. So you see the typology. Moses, a type of Jesus in the Old Testament. Lord bless you, and I'll see you next program of Mr. Kakalides Bible Talk.